Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I've got a little bit of a rant today that goes really well with my subject matter. We are continuing the Mad Hatter March Hare piece that I started yesterday, and I want to do a little time lapse replay of where I'm at. I started off with a photo composite, and I think it's been about 3 years since I actually made these images with the camera, and then I put them together and made my little March Hare and Mad Hatter. One of the things that really this is let me start over here. This is the subject matter that I used at the very beginning of my fairy tales and other futile fantasies series. It got me started on all of these thinking about social issues. And so it just kind of evolved. And so I thought I'd revisit it. And something yesterday came up. My good friend Jennifer pointed me to somebody online who was asking for she created a contest that the prize was their love and appreciation, and I believe it was a gift card to a restaurant chain to get a logo done. They had admitted that they suck at design, and so they were looking for anyone, and out there to make them a logo, which is like this overarching identity for their program. This was I'm not going to name the organization because it doesn't matter, because the mindset is prevalent. And basically it's that artists shouldn't be making money with their art. So to kind of frame this from the mindset of an artist. So I'm going to spend my time and my effort, and my knowledge, and my talent. They were looking for what was it? We want your talent. Where are my designers at? Okay, now do you assume that when they use the word designer, that they're looking for professional people? Yes, I would assume that they were looking for professional people. They were also asking for a logo. This isn't a coloring contest. This is something that someone will take time and effort. They will get to know or already know the performer. See, this is a performer. She's Christian. She's got a podcast, and she's got she's got books, and she speaks publicly, and we can all assume that she gets paid something for all of that. And so she's a fellow artist asking for fellow artists to create a logo for her, the most identifying thing that she'll use over and over again in all of her marketing. And she wants to give her love and appreciation and a gift card to a restaurant. That's basically asking for somebody to do stuff for free. And of course, she's putting this out on her own social media. And so she's expecting that her fans from her own celebrity will go out and make that happen for her in some way. Which I kind of find that as a double insult. So a handful of artists got on there and started to call her out on this. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a line work piece. So a handful of artists got online and kind of started calling her out on this. And oh my, no, we don't call our most wonderful host out on something that she did wrong. I mean, this was a mistake on her part. And we kind of stuck to our guns. This is something that really, really makes me angry, because this is a mindset that I'm not sure when it started, but it was clear back when I was in college that artists shouldn't get paid for their work. Visual artists shouldn't get paid for their work. And I was always like, why am I going to college if I'm not expecting to make money with the skills that I'm learning here? I mean, it's the only department in college that expects you to go out and get a job as a waitress so that you can support yourself, not pay your bills. Can't pay my bills with love and appreciation and a restaurant gift card for a meal. So in essence, we were asking her to rethink her whole thing. And I'm just going to get started here so I rant just a little bit. And it's maddening. It's just crazy that another artist is out there asking other artists to do work for free and make them and help them with their identity online. It just doesn't make any sense to me. When we got and the victimization, us calling her out on this came up quickly. Extremely quickly. All of a sudden, we were horrible human beings for not understanding that, even though they're online and they've got 50,000 plus followers, somehow they're deserving of free art, and we were horrible human beings for calling them out on it. There was no name calling. Give all the arguments that. However, they attempted to call me out on, because I got persistent. This is one social issue that'll get me going like none other. And the reason is because I deal with artists all day, every day. And there are too many artists out there that buy into this mindset. It's so prevalent in our society that artists shouldn't get paid for their work. Do we undervalue the things that contribute to our society that much? And I think the art market is a contributor to that. So the whole concept was that it's just all for fun. That this is just fun. You get your work in front of 15,000 people. But what's the value of that? It's a logo. So it's their identity that is now been created and defined and approved of by them. They're going to just pick one, and let's say 10 artists have spent some time, and let's say they actually do it right and spend an hour or two. Logo design actually takes longer than that. It takes many, many hours of thoughtful consideration of the client, who they are, what it is that they want to say with every single with every single time somebody sees the logo. Like, do you know who created the Nike swoosh? No, you don't. The only way that this would have any value to be in front of 50,000, have my work in front of 50,000 people, 15,000, sorry, is if I had attribution to being the artist. You're going to mention that every time that logo's used? Of course not. No. Just sit on that for a minute. They're not. And so the most outrageous thing was that there was a fellow artist, someone who worked hard to find her niche, and she does have she's got to be making money somehow. We don't just do this altruistically. It may appear to be, may feel altruistic. Like right now, what I'm doing is doing several things. I'm actually, creating my artwork for free in front of the camera. And let's not kid ourselves. I'm looking for people to get to know me, this is all part of trying to elevate awareness of my own artwork. Right? So, let's see, I had a few notes down that I wanted to make sure. So, what I'm doing is not all for fun. It's fun. I enjoy it. That's living the dream. But I'm not going to try to say that I'm not doing this for a purpose. And then claim that, all I'm doing is, aren't you going to help me out? All I need is a logo. It's just supposed to be all for fun. Here's my love and appreciation. There's a commercial out there right now that's running for Progressive that just continues to elevate or perpetuate, that's the word I'm looking for, the myth that artists shouldn't get paid for their work. And it's a commercial, it's considered not becoming your parents, right? So a couple is going to a restaurant and they're meeting another couple who's progressive buyers, and the young couple start, they're not exactly young, they're probably in their mid-20s, early 30s or someplace like that, and they've turned into their parents. Hey, yeah, and then the waitress comes over, and so the lady asks the waitress what if she's a student, and she says yes, and she goes, what are you studying? And she says, well, I'm studying to be an artist, and all of a sudden she goes, what, aren't you going to study something like this? I'm not quoting it exactly, but I'm like, so what are you going to do for a job? Well, let me tell you about being an artist in today's world. When I started out, that probably would have been a very valid thing to ask. Being an artist is difficult. It's entrepreneurial. Just like every entrepreneurial exploration, endeavor, it's hard work. And I don't think every artist is ready for that idea, is that it's hard work. And it's really on the artists themselves to become entrepreneurial. And, they don't teach you anything like that in university. They teach you that artists should be made for art's sake. That if you get paid, somehow that compromises your work. So that actually negates any graphic designer, even though there's a graphic designer in that department. They certainly shouldn't be working for themselves. Well, in today's world, there's lots of opportunities for artists. Way more opportunities than there was for me. There's websites like Patreon and, and Facebook, and you can reach thousands and thousands of people. And there's lots of artists out there that are making six-figure incomes with an audience. They're not nationally or internationally known because those are never covered by the art magazines, that are making art that people like and are willing to reach into their pocket and pay for it. So they're touching lives. Artists' work is important. Just like the Christian podcaster, her work is important. But she devalues the work of artists, other artists. How is this possible, you might ask? Well, it's an ongoing mindset that we deal with all the time. And we comment. If you comment, I'd love to hear you comment on this, even if you're catching this on the rerun. This is something that makes me just madder and mad. And I'm not so sure that we're not all part of the problem, artists. And what I mean by that is there are so many artists out there, part of doing the artwork is for people to appreciate it. I mean, it's part of creating it. Is that someone says, oh, I like that. And the next step is, oh, I like that so much. I need that as part of my life. I want that just in my house so that I can appreciate it on a regular basis. Or I want that on a t-shirt so I can wear it because it says something about me. Or whatever. I mean, what would that logo from that podcast be used for? Merchandise? Of course. They're going to put it on coffee cups, and they're a morning show, so it's coffee cups. And they're going to use it on t-shirts. They're certainly going to be making money on it, with it. And this thing kind of went round and round, and there was all sorts of attempts to shame me, and how dare I have this mindset. Well, I'm kind of unflappable with this concept because I don't know. I don't care how much good you bring into the world. You shouldn't be doing that by stepping on the talents of other people. But people do. The other thing is, if you're serious, you shouldn't be leaving your logo up to some amateur out there who's willing to do their artwork for free. People undervalue what that entails. The most important identifying mark of your company should not be left to someone who is willing to work for a restaurant gift card. And artists out there, don't work for free. I know everybody has expected it. I know. I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about. You know it's expensive to do your thing. You just want, and really on an emotional level, you just really want to be appreciated. Don't do it for free. If you want to be appreciated, let them pay for it. Because you have talent. If you're going to actually attempt to do that, You've got enough confidence to put yourself out possibly in front of 15,000 people? You're going to want to put your best work out there, right? Even if you don't get attribution. I'm looking at my notes. Some ideas and thoughts I wanted to make sure that what am I doing here? Oh no. Oh, I'm on the eraser, that's why. Okay. Yesterday I had a little incident with my pencil, and this isn't the first time it's happened. This little piece here, right here, this nib came loose, and I was like playing with my stuff, and it came loose, and it wasn't working. I was like, oh, I don't understand why my pencil isn't working. That's because the nib's loose. So let's not kid ourselves about the value of what we do as artists. I mean, no matter what level you're at, once you're past 18 and you have a passion for what you do, you have spent, guarantee you've spent more than 10,000 hours on your art. If you've been doing this since you were a kid and you just drew and colored and just whatever you can get your hands on, you've got more than 10,000 hours. And that's what makes you a professional. Oh, I just do this for fun. Why isn't it that we can have fun and make money at the same time? How does it being easy for you because you've done it enough? How does that devalue your artwork? Just ask. How does all the time and effort that you've done to create your artwork, how does that devalue? It should only increase the value. And I don't know. I don't know where the mindset's perpetuated, I think, by the artists themselves. And I'm pretty darn sure of that because I deal with artists all the time. And I don't know, it's just kind of like an artist characteristic that maybe it is a social construct, because you're told over and over again that what your artwork doesn't have value. People ask, it has so much value they ask for it, but they want it for free. It has value. They want to have it in their life. They want, oh, can I have that? I would just love to have that. Can you do my portrait? I know you need more practice. What? There's one artist out there that I saw not too long ago. He does an awful lot of portraits and stuff like that, and he gets paid, and he probably gets paid pretty well for his work because he's really good. And he regularly, every artist gets this, they get regularly asked for free. You know, hey, here's a snapshot I took of me and my boyfriend. Can you just do us for free? You know, because I can't afford, I want this thing, but I can't afford it. Would you go to a restaurant and say, I would like a free meal? I guarantee you'd get kicked out. You might find here and there a restaurateur that would give you a free meal. But if you can get past the host, because the host knows that it's the people eating there and paying for their meals is paying their paycheck. But people don't seem to have a qualm with asking for free art. Like it's nothing. It's easy for that person. Well, waitressing isn't that hard either. Cooking prescribed meals, not that hard either. Been there, done that. I'd actually have a lot less stress in my life as far as where money was coming from if I waited tables, because I was good at it. I made more money than I should have as a waitress back in the day. Had lots of energy. All you have to do is like put on the mask and be nice for whatever your shift is. I guess that's pretty much what people ask for, isn't it? In general. There's always nightmares. Nightmare customers. And those nightmare customers come from everywhere. So, anyone asking for your artwork for free is not your customer. And it is not your job to placate them. Your job is to go out and find those people who will appreciate your artwork and will pay you for it. And that's not an easy task. But you have to have enough value in yourself and artwork that you do to ask for the sale. That's that simple. And I'm not talking about being salesy like a car salesman. I'm talking about thinking about how you can make it easier for people to buy your work. It's one of the reasons why I started Art Print Express. It's because you can offer your artwork smaller with a smaller dollar value, that people can still love your artwork and afford it, because an original is only one of those, and that is very valuable in and of itself, just because it's an original. But offering a $35 9x12 print of your work, who can't afford that would have a house to put it in? Recognizing your own value. And it would be nice if other people would recognize your value as well. But that all is part of you as an artist. You have to have value in what you do in order to do that, and not fall for those people who are like, what you do is so insignificant and so easy and so just quick and simple. I want you to do it for free. Oh, and a gift card. And I don't know, did that gift card come from one of their sponsors? I'm just asking questions. Let's see, this is going to have a card in it. And I can't remember. I'm going to have to look this up, what size of card this is going to be. Seven and 5/8, I think, or something 16ths. I have forgotten. It has been so long since I visited this subject. Oh, I'm getting a little carried away. There we go. Erase that out there. pins. Oh, there was a fan who tried to tell us how rude we were. I can't believe how rude comments on this. Can't believe it. Rudeness. Asking for free stuff isn't rude from talented people. Oh, we're not looking for professionals, remember. Anybody with confidence enough with their artwork to think that they might be able to sway somebody to use their work for their... Oh, I got it. Let's see, what do I got going on there? Oh, I got a couple of... That's fur. I'm looking here. I don't want to get so caught up in my somewhat rant. So she was trying to, tell us how rude we were, or tell the world how rude we were, because, oh my gosh, kind of expected artists to get paid for their work. She didn't even realize what she was saying. Seriously. All we were doing is asking the group, I waited too long there, asking them to reconsider their prize outside of art, of enduring love and appreciation, and a gift card to a restaurant, to value the work a little bit more and just offer a bigger prize. I would have been satisfied with $100. That's really low for a logo, but I would have been satisfied with $100 cash prize. $100, I am positive that if you've got 15,000 subscribers and you've got a subscription base, that subscriptions means that somebody is paying an amount to, might be $2.99 or $5 a month or so much a year to get exclusive content from you. And so that subscriber, I'm sure there's $100 in there. Anyone that's doing this kind of stuff, there's $100 in your budget somewhere. And that would be a blessing. You see, this is a Christian organization. Wouldn't you want to bless your artists with a prize that has some value? And just think how many artists might step up if it was a $200 prize. It's not much. It really isn't that much. $100 is a couple nights going to the theater for a couple who gets popcorn and whatnot and goes out to eat. It's a date night. $200, well, it's a little bit more of a date night. They were offered a date night for the restaurant. Let's see. This has got a handle right in here. Oh, don't want to go quite that far. Let's see. I'm not sure what I'm seeing in there. but we'll just go ahead and bring it down. Is that the edge of the cup? No, the cup actually. Okay. And as I get over here to this other hand, that was my thing yesterday. Was, oh, I've got people talking to me. Goodness sakes. I want to respond. Thank you for commenting. Waitressing is not easy. Oh, I enjoyed waitressing when I had the energy to do it. And yeah, Shelley, the key is you have to be nice. Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to get along with fellow human beings, being nice makes things a lot easier. Brenda Mears. People don't realize the hours upon hours invested in a piece of artwork. That is right. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this all live, so that people, my own artwork live, is so that people can appreciate that even after 20 some odd years of doing artwork, actually, it's more close to probably 45. I was about 5 when I kind of went, oh, I kind of really like this art thing. And so, there was, I remember never even considering that as a career, until I guess high school, when I discovered that there was such thing as, no one ever talks about those artists behind everything. Everything. Artists affect everything that we do. They touched it. From commercials to your buying habits in the store, all that stuff. We affect everything. We have value. We can move mountains. But yet we don't value what we do. And the world, in turn, doesn't value what we do. Space and Jason, good morning. Yep, $300, 35 years ago. Shelley mentions, for anybody watching on YouTube or Periscope, that 35 years ago, the graphic design company she worked for charged $300 for a logo design. Yeah, but I guarantee you, there's an artist out there that's charging $50. That's just a good night out at the theater with some popcorn and a buddy. I wonder if they're going to spend the same amount of time that they did at the theater, movie theater. So a couple hours on that logo. Now, there are some people who are very brilliant. This brings up my my whole idea of get my hand in there. I'm trying to cut my hand off. Anyway, as I get to this little here, if you're looking at me on Periscope or on Facebook, you'll see my little. I'll be seeing you. One of the most ridiculous things that's going on right now is that this sign is somehow racist. Although we've been doing it as the okay sign. And everything should be okay. But there's also a game out there. The kids will put this like on their leg. Okay, and if you notice it, they get to punch you. Kind of like the VW love bug punch. And this is just a game that they've now turned into somehow white power symbol. And I think it's ridiculous. And I'm taking that, with this little painting, I'm taking that game back. Taking it back. my brother and I used to play the punch bug game, and he always won. Of course, he always won because I was younger, and usually in my, I was also an artist type, so I wasn't looking for VW bugs. I think he just put that on his radar all the time, and so inevitably I always missed out. And see, then he'd see one, and then he'd punch me, and then I would be like, so I'd be on the lookout for him. And of course, how often do you see, VWs? You see them a lot less now than you did back in the 70s when my brother used to play that with me. But of course, but they wouldn't see one. And then of course, if he, the second I looked away, frustrating. But this is just a variation of that same game that children play. And somehow it's become also a symbol of, it's been appropriated. I don't like that at all. Let's see if I can turn this upside down. Get some, there we go. It's much naturaler move. Naturaler? Is that a word? It is today. Much more natural. So, I guess, what do we do about this whole thing? What do we do about people's mindsets that art just really, it's come so easy to artists, and it really should be for free? Well, first of all, it has to come from the artists. Just like everything else, you got to stop devaluing what you're doing. Oh, Space and Jason says, you and Shelley are blessings to the scene here. I'm so glad I got to meet you both. And if you are both so... oh, thanks, Jason. That's so nice. Well, I'm hoping to inspire you today to not devalue your work. Slug bug, unending joy. Okay. Yes, anybody that shows that sign, yeah, it has to be down on the leg, so you have to notice it. And wait a minute, no, the way the game is played, so you're clear. The game is played is if you notice it, you get punched. So you have to act like you don't see it. Yeah, if you want to know, you can look this up on the internet. During the Army-Navy game, there was an announcer, and he was talking, and he was near the crowd, and some cadet did that sign down so you could see it in the camera. And so there was a big cause celeb over that. There's racism in with that cadet. No, he was playing a game. He was playing a juvenile game. A slug bug. Granted, it's not a fun game. You get punched. But hey. Yeah, you know what, Shelley? We could just change the rules, I think. Because it's just that arbitrary. Yes, I think that we ought to change the rules. That if you are doing that sign, okay, and you notice it, you get to punch that person. I think it goes both ways. I mean, why not? I got a mark over here. I keep doing that with my finger. That's one of the things. Yeah. Yeah, we're just going to arbitrarily change the rules on things. But of course, the half a dozen people that are on here right now, we're the only ones that are going to know the new rules. That's how this works. Darn it, we don't have a platform to go out there and be outraged by. Get platform. Of course, if we got the wrong thing, if we're saying the wrong thing from perspective of those who have bigger platforms, we'll be deplatformed. How do you like that? Does that sound like America to you? America. Seriously. Sounds like fascism to me. Sounds like fascism disguised as social justice. Excuse me. I'm getting low on coffee. I got to move my little thingy here because let's see here. Yeah, Shelly is a bird all to her own, and you love her for it. Learning curves can speed up. Oh, what did I say that caused you to say that? Learning curves. See, I need to look at my screen every so often. I'm not doing Shelly any justice. She's such a chatter today, and I love it. Thank you. And because I'm on 3 platforms, I want to make sure everybody hears that. I found out yesterday something interesting that Chuck's uncle had gotten on while he was waiting for his wife and daughter to arrive on an airplane. And I guess he got on Twitter. And he said that he made some comments, but I can't find them anywhere. I looked on Twitter, and maybe they're on Periscope. I don't know. I couldn't find them. And they didn't show up here, which I would think that if you were making comments on Periscope, I should be able to see them here since it says that I'm on there. Technology, don't you just love it? Love it. It's a curse and a blessing. I'm sure that that lady that I took on yesterday about free art and not appreciating artwork, she thought it was not a very big blessing yesterday. Of course, I wasn't alone, which was nice, because we have to stand up to this stuff. We really, really do. Now, I'm not saying that if you have some cause that you feel strongly about, something that affects you, and somebody is asking you for a piece of artwork to donate to the cause for their auction, and you have some kind of feelings about that, that's a completely different kind of payoff. But a for-profit place asking for free art is just a shaking my head moment. And a big old no for me. And the only way you can really change that is by, pointing out that flaw in the system. Yeah, I knew this was going to be kind of a slow process. Oh, went too far and then didn't pull up. Yeah, sound effects help when you draw. And anyway, it does for me. That's not a hard and fast rule. Anyway. Oh, the other thing I want to mention about that whole thing. So my first post on there was that I pointed out that they were making money. They were artists getting paid for what they do, and that I hope surely they wouldn't mind me posting a video. And so the video I put up there was my Art Print Express. So it's an ad. Artists shouldn't get paid for their art. And it's an old video. That video is as old as these photographs I used on here. And it points out, oh boy, my hands keep falling. Oh, I got to pull over. There we go. Even then, artists shouldn't get paid for their art. And I also explained why I started Art Print Express, which was to make a opportunity for artists to easily offer something of value to people with all sorts of different income levels. Not sure I'm reading that right. I'll just go ahead and put these ovals in. It seems like my hand is wanting to make ovals. Oh, I want the back end, but I don't necessarily want the front end, I think. And then there's this little tag. And I'm going to make this tag bigger because it's going to say drink me. And I want plenty of room to put that on. Yep, want you to drink the Kool-Aid. I want you to drink the Kool-Aid that free art is good. Not. It is not good. Yep. Making ovals. Oh, we're coming up on our time. Oh, Shelly. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Jason says, preach. Okay. Yeah, nobody else works for free. Exactly. That's the whole point. But where's the mindset? Why do you think that my time and effort and talent needs to be free? Yeah, Shelly says she has a budget for causes, and when someone asks me for donations, I explain that my budget has been spent. And second, to submit a request at the beginning of the year, I never hear from them again. That's a good one. Yeah, well, darn it, Shelly, you're actually sounding like a business. Are you really an artist? Of course you are. Of course you are. You are an entrepreneur. Like every other artist trying to make money with their work, whether they like it or not. Whether they want to call themselves that or not. It's like society has made... I'm going to change that one. It's like society has made entrepreneurship such a dirty word that artists don't want to call themselves that. And there's nothing wrong with entrepreneurship. I don't know when it got started. Don't have any idea. And I don't think you're ever going to find it in the history books. Because it's one of those things that just kind of culturally happened. Let's see. We're gonna... Sorry, I'm concentrating on this oval, which got goofy. Okay. And we're just minutes away from me ending this. I actually turned my timer on today so that my right side of my brain didn't take over and just let me go on and on and on. Now that looks weird. That needs to be gone. Let's see. Yep, that's what the problem was. Just a little indication of that edge. Let's try to smooth this out. There we go. Yeah, and I guess my biggest issue with the whole thing is I want my fellow artists to make money with their art. And I want them to make money by demanding that they get paid something for their artwork, hopefully what's worth their value, so that they can make more art. That is what we need it. The society needs more of us creating art and making money with our work. Because what happens is the ones that are entrepreneurial and might not be quite as diligently, I want to say this nicely, they're artists, but they're not quite as diligent with their work, and but they manage to get an audience, they manage to make money, and they're skating on the Art in America and Art News group of what art is. Like the banana with the duct tape. We need something bigger than that. We need more than that from society. And what happens is we've got artists who are fantastic, sitting in their studios, doing what they love, and not wanting to make waves. And yeah, it's a hard life. And they, I don't know. The thing is, what I don't know is what I get an awful lot of. All I can do is reflect what the artists are telling me. A lot of them say, well, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm just doing this for me, and I'm doing this for some legacy that my children might appreciate when they're older. And I tell you what, that's an interesting thing altogether after an artist passes and the family gets together. It's about as ugly as anybody who's got anything of value once they pass. I've gotten peripherally involved in that. Some places, some of them figure out that, hey, there's my alarm. I'm gonna have to go real soon. Anyway, that's what I want. I want my artist friends to value their own work enough to ask for the sale. And it doesn't have to be salesy. It's just like, oh, did you know that it was for sale? It's not like a hard press sales. Oh, it just takes practice. And the idea that your work has value. So, that's everything. Oh, I didn't finish that story about that artist who gets, yeah. So what he does is he does just a quick, you know, for those people asking for free art, he gives them like a 10-second free art sketch. You know, here's, it's like a, what do you call it? Stick figures. And he goes, here's your free art. So it's great. I hope I got the perspective right. It's hilarious. Anyway, that's a great approach to somebody asking you for free art. Well, I'm off. I got plenty of things to do now, and my fun is over for this morning. Let's get down here to where we're at today. We've got some lining work done. It's okay. It's just okay. I'm not familiar with how this all works together. Procreate is changing my art. But thanks for listening to me rant. Unionize. Shelley wants us to unionize. Oh yeah, Shelley mentions this, and I think this is interesting to point out in today's world. Many who call themselves conservatives look for volunteers and donations, which is socialism. So, not saying that's a bad thing, just pointing out veiled hypocrisy. And I'm not down on volunteer work either. I think that there's a place for it, but it shouldn't. There's nothing wrong with volunteering for things. It's just that a lot of times it's kind of veiled payoff, exactly like this thing that we were doing, or that I was talking about today. There's a veiled payoff. Look, you're going to get in front of 15,000 people. Your work anonymously, right? Is that actually that's a love for the people? And I think we get off balance as to what has value and what the value means. So as I close today, and I don't know if this continues to bother me, and anybody who's on here later that happens to see this, feel free to comment some more, and continue to value your art. Continue to create your art. The world needs you. And thank you, and you have a great day.